The big question on everyone's lips, of course, is what happens to the Queen's corgis. She only, in fact, had 2 living corgis at the time that she died, Fergus and Sandy. Now, these had been gifted to her by the Duke of York and his former wife, Sarah Ferguson. And in the last couple of days, this couple have said that they will take on the corgis and look after them. Now, the Queen had stopped breeding corgis back within the last sort of 10 years because she knew she didn't want to have these animals that she would then not be able to care for. But in her lifetime, she had more than 30 corgis, many of them bred from her original dog, Susan, which was a gift to her from her parents on her 18th birthday. She had grown up with a corgi, her father had one, and she loved these little dogs that originated from Wales. She also had Dorgies, which are a breed between dachshunds and corgis, and apparently the very first dog came about when her corgi, Tiny, had an unscheduled meeting with Princess Margaret's dachshund called Pipkin. So this is apparently how the first Dorgie came about. She loved both. Diana would always call these corgis a moving carpet, particularly at Balmoral. They would be scampering everywhere. But we know they were a great solace to the Queen. When she was at Windsor, she would walk with them around Frogmore House in the garden there. And in later years, they were a constant, particularly after the death of Prince Philip. She, of course, had most of her dogs had died then. But then what Prince Andrew and his former wife decided was that they would gift these 2 last corgis to the Queen. Some people were a fan of the corgis. Apparently, Meghan, upon first meeting the Queen, was a total star with these dogs, and Meghan warmed to her immediately. In fact, if you remember, Harry made a point of saying how wonderful his fiancée was with these dogs. But to others, they were a complete menace. People would speak about being in a car with the Queen, and the corgis would be scampering all over them. There was one Australian dignitary met with the Queen at Balmoral, and 2 of the corgis tore off, and he was tasked with going to find these dogs. So a huge part of the Queen's life, a real sense of solace. Even Prince Philip reportedly found them annoying at times, that you would have to sort of walk through this carpet of dogs to get to his wife. But obviously a creature in the Queen's life, along of course with her horses, who she was very fond of. So a major role in her life. She had some superb names for these dogs. There was Buzz, Dipper, Disco, Sugar, Susan, of course. And what was really funny is the staff knew that these dogs absolutely had to have fresh food every day, and the Queen would know if the food had been frozen. They would eat freshly chopped up meat with boiled cabbage on top and gravy. So, I mean, it almost sounds like these dogs were given a roast dinner every night. But the Queen, they were served in silver bowls and same time every day, and the Queen would know whether that food had been frozen. So you can imagine the kitchens had enough to deal with the royal family and the comings and goings of dignitaries, but on top of that, they also had to make sure there was fresh food for the corgis. These dogs were very spoilt. They had a Christmas stocking every year with chocolate drops and little toys within them. One footman got in terrible trouble for putting gin and whiskey into their food. I think lost his job over it. And of course, when these dogs died, each was commemorated with a little headstone of their own. So for instance, one, Holly, died at Balmoral. She has her own headstone. If they died at Windsor or Buckingham Palace, they were all commemorated, obviously very dear to the Queen. Charles, will he be having corgis? Apparently, according to our sources, he prefers Labradors.